And I mean, I have to say, we've done this for over a decade. What is this, like maybe our 13th or 14th year doing this? And it's gone through many iterations, right? Based on, what our budget was and who we were trying to bring into the library. It started as, a different program, and then it kind of morphed into summer reading. So, but from start to finish, I mean, we started at the very beginning of the school year, I would say. But maybe a month into the school year, we try and get an idea of who wants to be on the committee again. We have some long-standing members, and every year we pick up new members, and maybe sometimes members drop off depending on, what their workload is. But we always have a nice cross-section of the school on the committee. And then we literally start a Google spreadsheet and we just start to add titles that we find interesting that we'd like to review. And then it's shared with everybody, and you can see we usually add the title, the author, and a blurb about the book. And then there's a column for anybody who wants to read it, and we'll order it and we'll try and get it in. We'll get it as fast as we can into the hands of any staff member who wants to read it. Right. We have some check-in points with our committee. That's changed over the years also, just based on how the school day is structured and how much time we have on our hands. So it just kind of ebbs and flows from there. And things get thrown onto the list and someone will read it and they'll be like, oh, nope, there's this just happened. I don't think that's going to be good. And it'll get removed and it's something else will get added to it. And it's like magic. It kind of comes together eventually, like in January or February, when the rubber hits the road, when we really
I want
need
to add that these committee conversations that we have are really, truly enjoyable. We have been told by our members throughout the years that this is often the one committee that they shouldn't
They
say love all their committees, but people feel good going here because they're literally engaging in a book talk, in a conversation, and they know it's going to contribute to the culture of the school, and it's a feel-good space, right? People are heard, they're valued, we have norms that surround that, and these norms are just kind of the regular expectations of the group. And it's been cultivated over time. It's a very positive, collaborative team. And so that's a really important culture to kind of maintain. And if you're at book club, you better want to be there, right? Or else no one's going to read the book.
So then after you do all this legwork, when do you bring when is the launch and what do you do at the launch?
So that's changed over the years also. Pre-COVID, we used to bring in all of our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors into the library. We would close the library. We'd invite our public librarians in to help us book talk to all of those students. So we would have sometimes 3 different book talks with 30 kids in them, sometimes, 90 students in the library, where we try to get through the entire list, which is a challenge because in those days we had about 25 titles on there and we only have a 42-minute period. And then they had to select a book also. So it was challenging to get through the list. But it's something also that we sent out prior to students coming in. We usually do a LibGuide, which is it's a platform that we subscribe to where we can make a page on a book and we can add videos and text and links to our catalog and to the audiobooks and the ebooks, which we always carry from our Sora platform. And so we usually would send that out first to students. And then when they came in, they already had kind of an idea of maybe what they wanted to gravitate towards, and then spent maybe 20 minutes book talking to students, and then they would select. When COVID happened, we didn't want to let go of summer reading, so we did a digital version of it. And so we ended up partnering with Barnes & Nobles, where we did, again, a LibGuide. We sent it out to all students, and we ended up shipping a book to each of their homes.
And that during COVID, the work actually became more important than ever, because really what we were realizing was summer reading became really the only print book that many of our students were receiving, and that some of our students, depending on situation, had. And so being able to partner to actually ship books to students at a wonderful rate locally was such a wonderful gift to be a part of that partnership with Barnes & Noble at the time. But it was a pretty phenomenal feat to be able to pull off, getting that book into the hands of our students felt really, really critical. So
It was an accomplishment.
and so that really started to shift. I think that was a big paradigm shift in the program as well, in terms of how we focused on communication and just like it was in education as a whole, right? We moved to, really, truly being a one-to-one program, a one-to-one, school with technology. And we also, we started to include eighth grade, our incoming eighth grade students at that point too.
We knew we could do it. I think that one of the things that happened in the library in particular is that we kind of evolved to a point where we were dropping books that students wanted to check out from the library at their homes. Like we would go with a van every couple of days when students place books on hold, and we would drop them at their homes because we still wanted them to have that interaction with them. And so that was really important during COVID. And then after COVID, for a couple of years, we did not have our in-person. We were still masking. We felt like it wasn't appropriate for us to bring in that many students into our space. We were still social distancing. And so students were able to select from this LibGuide that we created, which was really robust. And the librarians did most of the book talks for them. So there'd be a little 30 to 60-minute book talk on each of the books so they could get a taste of what the book was about. And then they would place digital orders, and we would deliver those orders to the English classrooms, and the teachers would distribute them before the end of the school year. And so last year was the first year where we brought students back into our space again, and we kind of reimagined once again what this could potentially look like.
And I think the exciting point of being able to reimagine the programming despite the pain points and working through the extreme staffing shortages that we had. We couldn't support. To run the in-person program previously, we required extensive collaboration from our public librarians and our other school. In order to do that, we partnered at both schools. Working through that, we're able to kind of bring the best of both programs together. So having this digital access to information and then also the in-person piece together. The other real benefit of the programming from beginning to end is that, and I attribute this to Bev, when she came to our school, she really brought this regular norm of book talking to our students to get them interested in reading. And that has become just a regular practice in all of our classes.